Welcome to another GreenLight Potential. This time I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna show you their intro in the beginning, and I'm gonna go over their store page. But this game actually has a demo, and I'm gonna show you some of the gameplay in it if you haven't already seen it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and watch their intro. Alright, so the trailer looks pretty cool, and you can do everything that they show in the trailer, except for maybe the side paneling in the beginning. You'd have to be dead to see the whole ship like that and the surrounding areas, because there's a pretty good fog of war system in the game. Um, I'm not here to try to promote it. Trust me, there's some definite flaws that I'm gonna get to later on in this, but. As you can see, it's online multiplayer. It does have a single-player campaign with a crew of AI-controlled characters who you really can't control them. You can give them a task like turn on the reactor, and then they'll stare there and they'll stand there and stare at it. They don't do anything after that. They won't repair wiring. They don't do anything else. You have to take direct control over them, which you can do. In order to get them to do that, they will attempt to repair leaks, but they usually just get stuck somewhere, and it doesn't work out. Obviously, I guess you could give some excuses to the game. It's just early in development. It shows here that he posted it on February 15th, but on their website, it looks like the last update was back in August. So I don't know. That's kind of disappointing, especially if you want to try to get this on Greenlight. You probably ought to keep it updated. But I'm not a game developer. I don't know. I don't know what this guy's life's like. So there's that. Let's move on to showing off what the game looks like and what you can do in it. I just run single player right now. I did record some multiplayer with a friend. I'm trying to get a couple more people, and I'm gonna record that to show you everything you can do in that without, screwing around. If you go on YouTube and you look up any videos on this, it's either people who have no idea what they're doing in the game, or they're just screwing around. And, how much fun is a game gonna? You gonna pay $10 to just get a game to screw around with for an hour? No. Or you might, but I wouldn't. So let's get to it. Alright. And finally, to Barotrauma. I'm just doing single player, like I mentioned. And The reason for that being is there's a little bit more to single player than there is multiplayer, and you know that's unfortunate. You'd think it'd be the other way around, but in single player you at least get kind of a world map you can look at. There's a store you can buy things from, more on the store a little bit later, and you can pick up crew and missions from the world map. Now what it'll be is you'll start at point A and you'll have options of like point B, C, and D. Some of them will have missions, some of them won't. They'll be the same as the random missions you can take on the online play. I think there's only like 6 or 7 that pop up. Back to the store though, I haven't been able to figure out where the items go that you actually purchase in the store. I can't find them on the ship anywhere. So, and I know when you do like a cargo mission, you pick up cargo and you have to take it to another station. That shows up somewhere on the ship, but the items you buy from the store don't appear to show up in the same spot. Maybe it's a bug, I don't know. I only attempted it one time, and I'm not worried about, you know, screwing around on it that much more. I also did record some multiplayer earlier, but that footage had to be scrapped, unfortunately. I'm trying to get together a few other people to play it online, kind of show what all you can do online, but basically it's just a scenario. You get one of the random missions and you go out and you try to do the mission. Unfortunately none of the pre-made subs seem to be really ready for most of the missions. I mean, there's some creatures in this game, like in the particular sub that I'm showing off in this video, can't handle. There's no way around it. Even with your mechanic who's supposed to be able to craft things, you know, you might not have the materials on board unless you pre-make the sub with the materials on board already. Otherwise, you know, you're kind of screwed. The game has five different classes. I don't think I can do math. Maybe it's 6. Let's see. Captain, assistant, electrical engineer, mechanic, security officer, and doctor. So 6. Your captain and your security officer are the best ones with weapons. There's nothing else I've seen that only they can do, though. There's no doors that only the captain can get in, but you can just go and create an ID on the ship, give it all of the permissions, and you're good to go. Or you can create your own sub and not make any of the doors locked off from anybody. Your 2 primary characters you want to have are your mechanic and your engineer, and probably really only your engineer, because everybody else can do what the mechanic can do except for craft some of the items, which isn't feature complete, so you're not going to be screwing around with anyway. So your engineer then. Your electrical engineer is going to need to repair your electrical junction boxes and things like that to your pumps if you're going to want them to work. The reactor to the ship will not work if it's submerged underwater unless you have 3 fuel rods in it. And you have to get somebody over there to put those in, and then you need to repair all the electrical infrastructure between that and your pumps in order to get them to pump out the water. If they've been submerged underwater for too long, you'll have to fix those boxes. So that's kind of how that works. It's neat, but the game is not totally fleshed out. And yes, I guess they have an excuse. I think there's only one dev, but it seems to me he's been working on it for a while. So I don't know. It's hard to say there. Past that, there's not really a whole lot to say. Yeah, you can take a submersible off of the bottom of the submarine, and you can take that out, and you can search some of the little caverns that are around, and there's some like ancient, I don't know, buildings underground that you have to C4 your way into. And I might show some footage of that later if I can get a group of people to play it. A friend and I did it earlier, and we almost made it into one of the buildings, but when he was trying to put his dive suit back on in the submersible, he opened the he opened the hatch to the outside, and we died. So didn't get to show any of that footage off either. We're gonna attempt it again tomorrow, and I'll post it if we get it. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot else to say about the game. It needs a lot of work, and I don't know that they're gonna get people to vote for them on GreenLight. If you go and you check their website and their forums, it's pretty dead. And as far as updates, they've been pretty... Well, it's been a long time on there. The last one that's mentioned on their website is from Halloween, and that was for a different game. So, you know, it's hard telling. I hate to say it, I mean, it looks like it has a lot of potential, but with other games out there like We Need to Go Deeper that do the whole 20 Leagues Under the Sea kind of thing, I mean, yeah, this for sure helps set the mood much better than a game like that that's all cartoony. But when you can only, play this for about, I don't know, half an hour, and you've seen all you can see, that's pretty telling. It's unfortunate too. But yeah, at this point, I would just be beating a dead horse going over everything else. There are some good points. It's got a ballast system on the submarines that works really well. The submarines are difficult to navigate. You can't just drive them like they're a freaking Ferrari. The flooding mechanics work really cool. If you're, really deep in the ocean and you crash hard, your people will die from the pressure. The creatures can get aboard and they will hunt down. The creatures actually work a lot better than the NPC AI in that regard. And there's different ways to kill them. I mean, I've had my sub getting attacked from the bottom by some of the shrimp / lobster looking things / whatever the hell they are, and it's flooded and started descending very quickly and killed the creatures by smashing them on rocks, things like that. They somehow ended up with inside the hull. I don't know how that happened, but it's probably just a bug. But yeah, just have fun watching the rest of this clip, and I hope you enjoyed some part of it. I will try to get some multiplayer footage of it up as soon as possible. Other than that, take it easy.